These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Now.
It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Buck.
Well, the pit was special on Saturday night. It was loud. It was alive. But it can't just be about the pit, right? It can't just be about the pit. The pit's special because the team has been really good. And the team is still good, and the pit is still special. But a tough loss on Saturday night in a wonderful atmosphere. In a game that, man, that's how close you are. That's how close San Diego State and New Mexico are. But San Diego State's going to be I'm seeing anywhere from a 5 to I saw somewhere has them at 11. The 22nd ranked team in the country, they'll probably be top 20 when the polls come out today. You're that close to sweeping that team out. But instead, because the ball's bouncing the other way, you're a team that probably needs to go and win a bunch of games in Vegas to get to the promised land. We're going to talk about that today, a lot of NFL stuff, but a special night in the pit on Saturday that was ruined by the Butler. Good morning to you. It's the opening drive. Happy Monday. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, A. Marie. How y'all living?
What it do?
Good weekend?
Good weekend.
So I was telling some people, and I was with some people last night who have been around UNM athletics since the 70s and remember all those great days. And I said, when House scored with 6 seconds to go last night, I've been going to games now for 26 years. I think this is my 26th season in the pit, might be my 27th. And recency bias is always something. When House scored with 6 seconds to go off of that steal, you guys, that's as loud as I can recall that building. And look, it may have been louder, and it may have been when 18,000 were in there. I'm sure it was. All I know is, I told you early in the season it felt familiar to me. That place felt like the pit. Like at that point, and there's been a number of times in that building this season, I've looked around and I'm like, damn, this is special. Like, everybody does not have this. It's special. With 6 seconds to go, it's as loud as it's been. And then when Lamont Butler hit that 3, it might be as quiet as it's ever been.
Woo. He's got this.
A punch in the gut.
People didn't know what to
like
do.
a punch in the gut.
No, that meme that JJ sent to us, I mean, that was just a full walking kick to the stones. That's what it feels like, ladies. I mean, I don't know where you are, and I don't want to get into the game because I look at this team at 20-9, and if they win those 2 games that without House that they should have won, but they didn't. You can't say they should have won because they weren't even that close. The Wyoming and Air Force game, and the ball rolls one way. They win one of those Nevada games, and you're sitting at 23-6 instead of 20-9. You feel a whole lot better. That's really how close they are.
You are in an entirely different position.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the NCAA tournament based on buzzer beaters at the pit. And there's, the real life game stuff to break down and second half defense, and we'll talk about it. But at some point in time, isn't the pit magic supposed to help the home team? Aren't the home rims supposed to help the home team?
No, you got to hit the rim first, and Lamont Butler, flat out splash, and a guy who was not shooting the ball well.
Open a door at the last second, like get a breeze in the arena, something.
Yeah, it really was, and he was what 4 of 11 from the field, and the ball was in his hands. And I think we all thought it was going to Bradley, and I know, I know Richard Pitino did. Trammell had his best game as an Aztec, right? The little guy, the guy that was shooting number 12, that transferred from the Aggie fan will remember him from Seattle last year. He was terrific. He transferred. He was terrific. Their bigs were good. They out rebounded New Mexico. They played through foul trouble, and yet there you were the whole time. San Diego State was there, and the Lobos were going punch for punch. You had a 13-point lead. It comes back. They're up 4. The game's over. And for San Diego State fan, it was reminiscent of a game they played against Arkansas this year in the Maui Invitational, where they were up 4 with 14 seconds to go. And in that game, in fact, it was Lamont Butler, the hero this past Saturday, who was kind of the GOAT in that one. He committed a foul with 14 seconds to go. Like why? And they gave up 2 points, and then he turned the ball over, and they lose the game in overtime. And in this one, he was the hero. And I know you don't care about that. You care about what went on with your club. But it's all the full story. All right, we're here for you today at 505-246-0610. You're already lighting up the lines. There's 2 lines open. We'll talk about this and what it means. JJ, I know the disappointment, and I know the reality of these scenarios setting in for a lot of Lobo fan. But I was literally thinking about this yesterday, and that's how close they are, right? Blackshear's ball rolls off the rim the other way, and I don't know, you get one of these tight ones, whether it was San Diego State or, Wyoming and Air Force weren't close, but I don't think anybody's sitting here and arguing that Wyoming's better than you. They're the last place team, and they came in and punched in the mouth in your place. You win those 2 games that you should win. And you can even throw Fresno in there, but okay. Take 2 of those 3, and the ball rolls the other way. And at 23-6, you're probably starting at a 10 seed right now.
Yeah, it's a much different conversation. You're on the right side of the bubble, as opposed to sitting here with the realization that a team that was ranked in the top 25, started the season undefeated, has shown you that they can play with every team in the Mountain West Conference. But they can also lose to every team in the Mountain West Conference. And that has them needing to win the automatic berth from the Mountain West Tournament.
All right, let me give you phone numbers to get in. 505-246-0610, as if you don't know them. They're in your phone. 505-246-0610. That is the 377 Brewery hotline. It's also the text line. You can get in touch with the Sports Animal other ways as well. You can find us on the Twitter. It's _JJ Buck, or at Part-Time Bro. Or Facebook, the OD and the AM. You can watch the show there. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. And, of course, emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. We're going to catch up with a former Lobo great today at 7:30, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And one of the all-time greats who was in the building the other night, Robin Cole, the linebacker, is going to be with us. And I'm looking forward to catch up. It's always good to just talk football, period, but to catch up and why he's so involved with the university and what, I don't know how much you guys know his story. Many people do. Just talk a little football with him and maybe even some hoops. So that's at 7:30 this morning. We're going to get into all the football news. The Bears may be shopping the first pick. Luka Doncic and Kyrie blowing a 27-point lead to the Lakers. So there's a lot going on here. But Lobo's back at it tomorrow. Last game at home in the regular season. And it's coming off a tough one. It was a heartbreaker, man. Heartbreakers because you care. Heartbreakers because you're close. Doesn't make you feel any better, does it? Lobo, Dave, you want to get started? Hello, Dave.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jeff. Man, you touched a lot of things about Lobo basketball this weekend, but I just want to say to Lobo fans, because, man, after Twitter, when Twitter was going off, and there's a guy, I don't want to name any names, but, oh, my gosh, this is so bad. They tanked this season. I said, they didn't tank this season. They got beat on a couple buzzer beaters. They were that close, like you said, from being a team that's probably going to be in the tourney with maybe one win in the Mountain West tournament. But with all that being said, okay, that sucked. That was bad, and it was the loudest it's ever been because I've been there for the last 20 years, and that was unbelievable. unbelievable. So, but I want to see what you guys think about this. Yes, we may have to win it, but if we beat San Diego, since all of our quad one wins, do the people look at it in the committee? Is if we win the next 2 games and we win maybe 2 games in the Mountain West tournament, if it's against Nevada, if it's against Utah State, do they count those as quad one wins?
Yeah. If they're quad one wins, yes. They're neutral court quad one wins, yeah.
That's even better. So could that still get us in possibly if we get there and we win 2 games, possibly 3 if we're a 6 seed, and we go in there with 25 wins? Because that'd be 2 towards the...
You'd be 25 and 10.
Yeah, 25 and 9 or whatever it is.
25 and 10
would
if you get
that,
beat in the final.
25 and 10 because we'd lose, absolutely. So would that possibly get us an opportunity to get in? What do you think from there?
In a vacuum, it's hard to answer in a vacuum, Dave. I would tell you possibly, but not probably. How about that? So it would depend what everybody else does. Is there a bid stealer somewhere? What does Carolina do because they're on the bubble? What does Kentucky do? What does Mississippi State do? Right, all these teams that are on the bubble, and who you're knocking out. So you might knock out Nevada, but you don't give a damn or knock out Utah State. But possibly, but not probably. How about that?
Yeah, see, and I heard that, like, I was looking at some of the teams comparisons. North Carolina, or one of them, I couldn't believe it, that had
0-9 against quad one. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. So if it comes down to that, well, and we have 4 or 5, I think we would steal that. But then again,
here's what you also got to consider, Dave: your quad 4 losses, your quad 3 losses. The Air Force and Wyoming losses are tough.
Exactly, and then you have all those buzzer beaters this weekend: Arizona State, you have Maryland, you have all those guys. So. Yeah, but Lobo fans, it's not over. We have an opportunity to do it. And if they don't get there, even the coaching staff said, hey, I wasn't expecting to be in this position, and there is postseason play. You're going to play some NIT teams that are very, very good. Yeah. Maybe Michigan State, maybe all those teams. So we'll see where we're at.
All right, Dave.
We'll be all right.
Yeah, I appreciate you. And I think what I got out of that is it sucked. And are you still holding on to hope? I don't want to get people's hope up. I don't want to tell you impossible. I guess possible, but not probable. Is that a fair way to say it?
Right now, yeah, because all this stuff does change daily based on the teams in the at-large bubble conversation.
All right, wacky NCAA weekend. You're on the phone. I know you want to talk about it. We'll get to you if you're coming in at 505-246-0610. We will talk with Robin Cole, the former Lobo great and former Pittsburgh Steeler great linebacker. That's coming up at 7:30 this morning. Glad you're with us this morning. The final Monday of February. Here comes March on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say, people mean more.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
It was 73-71 on a buzzer beater by San Diego State's Lamont Butler. Arizona State heaves in a 60-footer at the buzzer to beat 10th-ranked Arizona. Florida State got a buzzer beater to beat Miami. North Dakota got a buzzer beater. I mean, it was everywhere. And then there's the UCLA Bruins, who I'm telling you, they're my sleeper team that nobody's talking about in the NCAA tournament. Not just because I coach them, not just because I'm so intimately involved with UCLA. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Amory, and glad you're with us at 505-246-0610. We're going to be in Vegas next week, conference tournament, Mountain West Conference tournament. Looking forward to bringing you the opening drive from Las Vegas next week. I want to say thank you to Rich Ford, celebrating 62 years at the corner of Lomas and Wyoming Northeast. New Mexico, look, the best New Mexico souvenirs and team apparel. California Closets, custom closets, systems and solutions for the whole home. And Coleman Vision, perfect game. Let's go, 505-246-0610. Hello, James. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Man, I got a little bit more to talk about this morning. Pac-12 champs, outright, yes. Go Bruins.
Yeah, thanks to that 60-foot heat from Arizona State.
Anyway, I know what it's like to lose as a buzzer beater, Gonzaga. Man, you guys played a great game. You guys did everything good, but you gotta finish. And sometimes you don't even have to finish, man. Look at the Michigan games. Guys just threw the ball up and it went in, you know.
Yep. It's sometimes the other guys make one more play, as Richard Pitino said, but it's happened twice in the pit this year. It's I've never seen anything like it.
And man, it's just it's crazy. I mean, you got all these teams coming out. I mean, and don't take me wrong, but you guys need to win your conference tournament.
That's right.
I mean, you guys do. You guys need to win your conference tournament to get in, because I've been looking at a bunch of stuff this weekend and things like that, and it doesn't look very good. I mean, if you guys would have won, you guys have been a little bit better shape, but you guys need to win your conference tournament. And
I think they realize
apologize if
you're not pissing people off with that. I think that's fact, James, but appreciate you. Congratulations on a Pac-12 title. Thanks, man.
Okay, take care, guys.
All right. I don't think that's. I mean, at this point, I think everybody is become pretty astute to that, right? I mean, Lobos are going to probably have to win a conference tournament. Now we have the first caller call in, and I don't know, you guys in a vacuum. If they win the last two, even if they end up in the play-in game, win 3 games in Vegas, that would mean beating 2 of the top 4 clubs, and then losing the championship. Do they get in? Possible, probably not probable, right?
Yes, that's the way to look at it right now. It's just you have these 4 quad 3 or quad 4 losses. So 3 quad 3 losses, 1 quad 4 loss that are hanging on your resume. And again, when you start comparing UNM to the other bubble teams, you can say, but we have 2 more quad 1 wins than North Carolina. Okay, they have 0 losses.
Yeah, of the bad losses. Yeah, it all goes into it, man. It's well, but we were without Jalen House. Well, you probably should still be able to beat Wyoming without your point guard. Well, but they're a good last place team. Okay, yeah, they probably are a good last place team. But that's what the numbers tell you. All right, the text line is 505-246-0610. Says literally anything is possible, but Liberal fans need to understand that unless we win the Mountain West tournament, we're not going to the big dance. OG. Okay. This one says, don't forget that first Nevada game as well as a would have, could have, should have. Udeze flagrant foul in OT. Look, you could take those 2 games. You get another one that went the other way. I mean, it's really what I'm looking at is the 2 buzzer beaters. If you want to tell me both Nevada games, this buzzer beater that you had here, and then the Air Force Wyoming game. But the Air Force Wyoming games weren't close. No, you're right, and House was out. But those are games you should have won. But take one of those close ones and those 2 tough losses and flip them. And I know we're playing a stupid what-if game.
Yeah, but
that's how close you are is my point.
Close, but that's 5 games.
I know. That's my point. I'm not saying give you all 5.
Yeah.
I'm not saying take all 5. No, that's not what I'm saying.
If they didn't have Air Force Wyoming,
yeah,
they would be closer
still on
to
the
right side, even with 2 losses to Nevada and what happened against San Diego.
No, that's 100% correct.
But it's Air Force Wyoming.
And you'd be 22-7 without those bad losses.
And
yeah,
because you got to factor, a team's going to take a bad loss. Like you're going to have a Fresno State, like something probably going to happen to you in conference play. But then we start 1, 2, 3 of the bad loss, not bad, oh, you got beat on the buzzer, but to the bad teams in your conference.
All right. This texter is blaming it all on Richard Pitino. Nobody has perfected the art of being out-coached down the stretch of big games like Richard Pitino. Thanks again, Little Dicky, for doing what you do best Saturday night. Was he out-coached Saturday night? I'll tell you, the Nevada game at home, I thought maybe Alfred got him. You know, I thought they weren't prepared on the inbounds play. No, the Nevada game on the road, right, when they were up by, 5 with 104 to go? That one, you look at little things. I don't know. They came back from being down 4. Now, how should they have defended the last play? I don't know. Did anybody think Lamont Butler was pulling up for 3? Even San Diego State's coach Brian Dutcher said the play was to go to the rim. You could see Mashburn backing up. Now, it's so easy to sit here and dissect it frame by frame, But when you look at it and say it took him longer to get up, he had no choice, with 1 second. Well, I think he launched it with a second and a half, right? Maybe you should have come out because you shouldn't have, you should see the clock. But if you look at the clock, you look at the player, I think everybody in the building thought they were going to the rim. It was a 1-point game. And if someone was shooting a three, it was going to be Bradley or Trammell, probably not Lamont Butler, right? I mean, I don't know where you guys are on the last play.
It just looked like he had a wide open
He
shot.
was wide open. No, there's no argument there. He had a wide open shot.
It was tough to watch over and over.
Yeah, I watched it a bunch of time.
Me too. I was like, all right, because I saw everyone blaming Mashburn for not playing defense.
Well, he backed down into the lane.
He did. He did it. He didn't play defense, but just I think like what you just said, he did. They didn't think they were pulling up the three.
All right.
It was tough.
What would you have done? I mean, did you think that was
court.
You would have what?
Trapped at half court.
Trapped at half court. Put a little bit of pressure up on the ball up higher.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Let up.
Because even if they pass it to someone, I'd rather the clock ticking down, having to catch and shoot with pressure, as opposed to just kind of the free runway into the front court.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so you want to see more pressure on the ball up the floor.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into it more. We're going to talk about
He was able to take that in rhythm.
Yeah, no, six.
No, it was
six
like
dribbles. I was uninterrupted walking down the floor.
Jeez, boom.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk more of this in a little bit. When we come back, we're talking some football. Former Lobo great Robin Cole was in the house. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, former first-round pick, one of the greatest Lobos ever. He got a great ovation when he was introduced on the floor by Danny Gonzalez the other night, and he's going to be with us next. We'll talk some football with one of the best who's ever done it around here. Hey, if you're a business owner, if you work for one, I got big news for you. The federal government's promised $135 billion in tax refunds for small and medium-sized businesses that kept employees on the payroll through the COVID pandemic. And even if you qualify for PPP funds, you are eligible or maybe for the employee retention credit. So how do you get the money? You go to refundspro.com. Refunds Pro specializes in cutting through the red tape to qualify for this government program. Refunds Pro makes it quick and easy. Get this, most more than $100,000, which you could use right now, but there's a deadline. So visit refundspro.com, get the process started before it's too late. And I know you're wondering, what's the catch? There isn't one. It's a refund, and it's based on your business taxes, not a loan you have to pay back. Refunds Pro will help you through the qualifying steps, so go to refundspro.com to see if you qualify instantly. If they don't get you any money, there is no fee. Many business owners don't even know about this program. Now you know. Don't wait. Get online, refundspro.com. That is refundspro.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons.
9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
One of the biggest cheers in the pit. One of the biggest. I mean, not. It wasn't as loud as when Jalen House scored with 6 seconds to go. I'll give you that. One of the biggest cheers in the pit on Saturday night was when Danny Gonzalez, the Lobo football coach, introduced one of the greatest who's ever played at the University of New Mexico. Robin Cole was in town, former Lobo great linebacker who won 2 Super Bowls while playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and is a guy who's in town often. Doesn't make New Mexico or Albuquerque his permanent residence, but is in town a lot, giving back to his university, and it's just a guy that I think everybody around him enjoys it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, Jay Buck. We'll get back to your phone calls in a little bit. Did you know of all the great linebackers the Steel Curtain had, the Steelers had, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Andy Russell, all those guys, only one of those guys was drafted in the first round. Only one linebacker was in the first round. That was Robin Cole out of the University of New Mexico. He's in town and joins us this morning on the opening drive. Robin, good morning to you. How you feeling?
I'm doing tremendous. How are you doing this morning?
We're doing well. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good. Thanks for having me on this morning.
No, it was good to spend a little time with you this week, and it's always great to see you in town. And people say all the time, why aren't more players in town? Why aren't there more of the Lobo greats in town? And I know it's been important to you, and I love you telling the story. Why is it so important for you to just be around the University of New Mexico, to give back, to do what you can to help this place? Because you're an LA guy. I know this was a big part of your life, but I know it's important to you.
Yeah, it is. But as a young man, and growing up as a teen, 17-year-old, when I chose the University of New Mexico to be my place, to really get my start, to come in here and try to keep myself clear of any distractions or challenges, which we all deal with, but just try to keep myself from getting in the muck of things and choosing and then falling in love with the scenery and everything. It was just it's a real deep part of my life. And I travel around, when you play football, professional football, or any football, or anything when you went to college, let it be a doctor or anything, when you travel around, you talk about that all your life, I didn't realize I'll be talking about this at the age of 67, but I have guys in the 80s that still talk about Penn State and still talk about, oh man, I'm from Michigan, and everybody, they're very proud of where they went to school. They're very proud of their universities, regardless if they won a championship or not, but they're very proud of their universities. And that same pride lives in my heart, and it lives in the heart of other individuals that went to the University of New Mexico. And so we try, I try my best to try to help our people here notice that this is what's going on in the world. I mean, we can't just close an eye to what's really going on throughout the country. And we see it time after time after time that any time you get the right leadership being a part of your university, things happen, good things happen, and people that understand that the past is important because it got us where we are today, but it's not nearly as important as the way that we view the future. And so I try to come back and try to share those things that, the future is bright as long as we have the right leadership that can step forward and say to themselves and say, hey, man, we can make this place a place that we can be very proud of, regardless of how many years ago you went to school here. You can be proud of the University of New Mexico. And that's just part of my feat. And I don't care how long it takes to be all my life. Yeah. I'm going to keep preaching that. And until we happen to get the right type of leadership that understands that and are willing to step forward and make it happen.
Yeah, and this launched you onto a terrific career, Pro Bowl career, and 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers. And I want to ask you something, and we talked about this a little bit over the weekend, but I want people to hear this, because the Franco Harris story, when he passed away this last football season, I think we're now at a point where there's a whole generation, maybe 2, of people who don't remember Franco. He was a roommate of yours. And his passing generated such a passion and such great conversation. And I think a lot of people learned about Franco. Briefly, though, your feelings, obviously, when Franco passed, but what he meant to you and to that team, because that franchise, that group from your era will always be legendary.
Oh, you better believe it. You could even talking with Joe Green. When we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay, we know the Pittsburgh Steelers and the people of Pittsburgh say it started when Joe Green hit the field. But Joe Green says when Franco came, that's when it started. That's when the legacy started. Yeah, when Franco came to that team, to our team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's where it started. Franco means so much, not only to the community of Pittsburgh, but outside the community of Pittsburgh. I mean, you fly into Pittsburgh, yes. When you get off that train and you go into the city, you don't go into the city without seeing Franco Harris. Mm-hmm. You got a statue of Franco Harris that sits there, and then you have another statue that used to sit next to it. We took the Franco statue and put it on the first floor now, and then going down the stairway to the train, there's 2 other people. That's Amelia Earhart, and the other person is George Washington, but nobody knows who those people are. Franco Harris, everybody knows who he is. Okay, so and he was always a kind gentleman. He was a football player that worked harder than anybody. He was normally the guy that was there first and the guy that was leave last. I can remember Franco. I said, "Man, we're done, man. We got to get out of here." He said, "Wait a minute, I got 30 minutes to go." 30 minutes. He pulled a jump rope out, and he would jump rope for a good 30 minutes after practice was over, after weightlifting was over, after everything was over. Okay, just to be with himself, to concentrate on what he had to do the next day.
That's what makes the greats. That's what separates him. Yeah, that's what separates him. He's Robin Cole, former Lobo great, former Steeler, and he's with us this morning on the opening drive.
Well, Robin, in Pittsburgh, you experienced something that it doesn't happen these days. You got to play an entire NFL career for one head coach. Chuck Noll was your head coach in Pittsburgh. What was it like playing for him, and just really the tone that was set by him and that organization to get you guys to the level that you achieved?
Oh, yeah. Chuck was very, very serious, very stern. Okay, he knew what he wanted to do, and he knew how he wanted to do it, and he had a lot of success with it. And I'm thankful that that kind of man, because I learned something. I learned what it would take to be a champion, and he was able to pass that on to players on the team all over that became champions once they left the football field, and how to direct themselves. He was able to do that. He was able, and he was a guy that just knew how to win, knew how to put winners around him, okay, and wouldn't accept anything but being the best that you can possibly be. No nonsense off the football field. He just wouldn't go for it at all. And when if anyone left, anyone had anything going on, he had a very short memory, regardless if you've been there 12 years or 13 years. even going back, I can remember what he said when Franco had left the game. And then somebody asked about Franco. He said, "Franco who?"
The guy with the
So he had a
statue.
very short memory. Yeah.
The guy with the statue.
Yeah,
Robin
for sure.
Cole. Robin
he
Cole.
he was the best.
So you talked about falling in love with New Mexico. What was it like when you first heard about the Lobos and they first were reaching out to you and trying to get you to come play at the University of New Mexico? Had you had any experience in Albuquerque or the Southwest, being a kid from Compton, California?
None. I received a letter, and the coach that was recruited me, then eventually they came by the house and they met my mom, and a couple of people in my family. None. I had been already to UCLA. I didn't even go up to visit Stanford. Stanford was really we were whining and dining with Stanford. You had Claremont Men's College, UC Riverside University. I did visit up at the University of Hawaii, University of Oregon, all of these places. And all of a sudden, this New Mexico starts sending me letters. And I guess it was I didn't know back then that it was a long shot. And I didn't know back then that when you were talking about players in different level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, when I got to UNM, I guess I ended up being in that era or during that time, probably one of the only level 1 players that they were able to snatch up back then. But just when I came here, because I said, well, it's out in the middle. No, not that far. It's out in the middle. Seems like it's out in the middle of nowhere. I've never heard of it before. And then they said, well, we're going to set up a trip to come out and visit. And I said, oh, go out and visit it. And it was the last university that I did visit. And I came out here and I fell in love with the place. And not only that, my thinking as a 17-year-old was find a place where there wasn't a lot of, and that word keeps coming up, distractions. Yeah. Okay? It gets you in trouble. And then from Compton, I understood how to get you in trouble. But not only that, what I learned from my older brothers and sisters, friends that I knew growing up that went to colleges that were close by, in 2 years, they ended up back home. And I couldn't figure out why they were back home. Yeah. Why weren't they finishing school? And it was because of the distractions. So that was one of the things that I learned. So when I came out and visited this place, I just fell in love with this place. The population wasn't as high as it is today. Yeah. But, I mean, I love the mountains. And I said, this is a place. I said, this is like Muhammad Ali going out someplace and start homing in on his trade. I said, this is a place where I can home in on my trade. And then when I got here and I learned, only so many players had reached a certain level at their trade as far as being a professional athlete or being an athlete of being All-Americans and things. We had a few of those kinds of people. But I said, wow, it has been nobody. And I'm 17 years old. I said, there's nobody that's ever been drafted in the first round or drafted high from this university. And I shot my mouth off and said, golly, I would like to be that. Then I had to figure out a way. So wait a minute now. Yeah. There's a lot of work to this. I didn't know there was that much work to this.
You talk about that, and we got about 2 minutes, but I want you to tell the story. But you say shooting your mouth off. The difference in media now and then, and you told me a story last night about when you got drafted and did your interviews with the Pittsburgh media over the phone, and just the difference between when you got drafted in the 70s, the media, and now, and you kind of said this is the way of the future. Yeah.
I mean, back then, the media, and for some reason, I just watching and what I saw. I come in and I started talking, and I said, this is going to be down in the future. There's going to be a lot of fears to what you're saying, because I used to watch entertainers on television, Johnny Carson shows, all these shows, and some of these people were asked questions, sometimes very personal questions, and they would lead it. They would lead the story wherever they wanted to lead the story. And I kind of started to pick up on this and said, okay, well, somebody's asking you questions. I mean, you can talk, but it's not so much the content of what you're saying, is that how you present yourself is more important. And so as a young man coming in, I get drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they connect me into the media, not where the draft was, back in Pittsburgh. And it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 plus media people there for an interview, and they're just shooting out questions. And And eventually it came to the point, and I didn't start off this way, but they kept digging. And it asked me, said, well, you're a California boy. What is your team? I said, well, the Oakland, I said, I like the way my California team would be the Oakland Raiders. And a guy by the name of Myron Cope, which is the guy that invented the terrible towel, I heard him in the background say, Oakland Raiders. Now, little did I know that Chuck Noll and Al Davis, so it was the Pittsburgh Steelers and Oakland Raiders, they were in court. They were in court.
They hate each other.
This was criminal element.
Yeah.
They hated each other. So I don't know. So maybe Chuck thought when I was talking about the Oakland Raiders, how I liked that team. I talked about other people too, but they never made it to the page.
Yeah.
The whole story is about Robin Cole and the Oakland Raiders playing tough, grinding it out, and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it was funny when I eventually read the stuff. Okay, but I realized, I said, well, this is where we're headed. Okay, I can remember when my rookie year, my roommate was Joe Green. They put me in a room with Joe Green, and I'm sitting there. So why you guys put me in a room? I'm thinking, why you put me in a room with Joe Green? And then I said, oh, okay. He's supposed to curve my personality, I guess. And I have a big personality. I told it like it was. Okay?
That wasn't the way they did it.
Tell it like it is.
Yeah, it wasn't the way they did it back in those days. And
That's not the way they did it, brother.
Yeah, always appreciate the conversation.
Joe said, no dancing on the football field. Don't do no acting.
Well, he told you.
Big play.
He told you act like you've been there before, right?
Act like you've been there before. I said, no problem, Joe. I've been there.
Yeah, it was just there.
But when I watch old film, I can still today. I was watching the 1981 game and made a big play in the backfield, about a 3.5-yard loss against the 47ers or 49ers. And I turned around and I was back in the huddle, first one back in the huddle. Never lift my hand up for anything. And I'm looking at myself and I said, and I'm sitting here and I'm excited about the play because the play today. Okay, I mean, with that big play, I'm supposed to run around the whole football field, jump up and down, and get all the fans involved.
That's right.
I'm just right back in the stand, walk back in the huddle, and I said, wow, golly, they really took the edge off of me.
It's a different day. Mean Joe Green took the edge off you.
It's
always good, my friend. It's always good. I look forward to seeing you when you're back in town in May. And
For sure, yeah.
Appreciate this short time, and safe travels to you. And Lobo fan talks about you all the time, but we'll catch up with you soon.
For sure. Lobo Nation. I love Lobo Nation, man. Hey, see you guys.
Be well.
God bless.
The great Robin Cole.
Bye-bye.
The great Robin Cole. I got some addendums to that story that he came back. Great conversation with Robin Cole. And I love the fact that a guy who's that accomplished, who's that known in football circles, still loves this place and still comes back and gives to it. You can respond at 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
and act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say, people mean more.
Missed it, share it. It's already up on the podcast, wherever it is you get podcasts. Go to Part Time Bro or go to sportsanimalabq.com. Wherever it is you get it. So Robin was telling me a story last night about how when he got drafted, 21st overall, first round pick, they called him, said, all right, well, we're coming up, we're going to pick you, hold on the line. It was all telephone. You don't go there wherever it is in New York or where was it, Chicago, Vegas. And so they drafted him and they said, all right, we're going to patch you through the local media in Pittsburgh wants to talk to you. And it was on the phone. So that's what he was saying. And when he told him, some of his favorite players he modeled himself after were Raiders, Atkinson, and, those guys. He didn't know because there's no internet back in the 70s. He wasn't reading the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He didn't know what his words were. And evidently back in Pittsburgh, it was big headlines. And so he said, he told me the first time he went to the facility and the lady at the reception desk was there and he introduced himself and he said, hi, I'm Robin Cole. And she's like, oh, you're the guy who does all the talking. He's like, what do you mean? I'm not talking. She says, you haven't read the paper? He says, what paper? Albuquerque paper? Like, what are you talking about? And she says, I'll get you a copy. And she pulled out a copy of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And the headline was Robin Cole's, what was it?
Robin Cole loves the Raiders.
Well, it was his heroes are, Atkinson and he's like, oh, dang. And so Chuck Noll brought him into the office and says, all right, that's not how we do things around here, son. Kind of one of those things like, well, what do you mean?
Grew up in California, man.
And Robin was saying at the time, he says, this is how it is in the future. He says, son, those people aren't your friends. Those people in the media, they're not your friends. And, Robin is a really, really welcoming personality. If you ever spent some time with him, he's gregarious. He's welcoming. He's pleasant. He's well spoken. He's got a lot of things to say. And so, yeah, he had to be tamed. And he told me a story. He said he made a sack and, celebrated a little, got back in the huddle. Me and Joe Green said, rookie, act like you've been there before. And he's like, I have been there before. I'm like, you were just there. You're just in the backfield. But he had so many good stories and talking about Franco. So and he'll come on with us again, whenever we want. But I appreciate him spending some time. And more than anything, you know what I like? I love that a guy who wasn't born here, and there's a number of these guys, wasn't born here and actually made his professional name somewhere else, continues to come back and care about this university and give to this university.
Absolutely.
and it's a big deal. And I thought it was great that Danny brought him out at midcourt on Saturday night during the basketball game and did something with him. It was really cool. All right. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, A. Maurice producing for us. 505-246-0610. You guys are pretty active this morning on the emails. That's Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Text line says, act like you've been there before. Feel free to tell Mr. House. Oh, here we go. When you hit a layup with 6 seconds left and you strut past the San Diego State bench talking crap, at least be in the handshake line when the team walks off. Classless. I didn't see it. Was he not in the handshake line?
Didn't notice.
I did not notice that either. I didn't. This one says, this is epic with Robin Cole. Glad you enjoy that. Thank you for that. All right, we're going to talk a lot of hoops, and you guys are in on the hoops, and you guys are in on Louisville basketball, and you're everywhere from sad to mad. Is that fair? I'm a Louisville fan. A lot of you were upset with the defense at the end of the game. About the second half period. Ask the Dallas Mavericks about the second half, by the way. You see them blow a 27-point lead to the Lakers yesterday?
Biggest comeback in the NBA this season.
27-point lead. You got Luka Doncic and you got Kyrie Irving, and you blew a 27-point lead. We're going to get into what the game means, what it means in the vacuum, but really more so moving forward. You know what's going to be really interesting now? How do they bounce back tomorrow? Right? You're coming off the Boise State, and I expect them to bounce back like they did against San Jose State 2 Fridays ago. But you're coming off 2 tough ones this week, Boise State and San Diego State. 2 really hard-fought, tough games. Final game of Pitt, senior night. I want to talk about that because, I don't know, what do you guys expect tomorrow night? I expect a pretty fired-up Lobos.
I expect them to compete like they have, bouncing back from the other losses.
I expect them to find the Bulldog, get them to play against the Bulldogs. I'll tell you why, Jim. I'll tell you why. See, I'll tell you why I don't think the whole season's lost now. 505-246-0610. That's how we get here. You can look back at the Aztec game against the Lobos, but really more so look forward. And how do they find the Bulldog to move forward? It's a big week, final week of the regular season. Then we go to Vegas, where, as this says right here, literally anything is possible. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on the final Monday of February on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Rock in the morning, 7 a.m. where have you been? 7 a.m. where is your brother?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A-Marie Castillo, and J.J. Buck.
Lobo fans running the gamut from angry to sad to stunned to surprised. Not a lot of thrilled. I think in some respect you realize there was progress, and then in the same tone I think you realize, man, but the bar was reset at 14-0, at 13-0. And where are you now, and what happens? I don't think it's over. I think you got a sixth-place team with a shot that could make a run. I think you do. Like this text says, Jeff, when was the last time we could say with confidence a sixth-place Lobos team could win the tournament? There's one thing to be upset about is all the fans departing for the exits with 2 minutes left. How and why does this happen? I didn't notice that a lot. Yeah, I didn't notice a lot of that. People want, I don't know, traffic. I don't know.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either.
There was not a mass exodus with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I didn't see that. If there's one thing to be upset about, that wouldn't be it to me. But get upset with what you got to get upset about. 73-71 was the final. Lamont Butler hits a shot at the buzzer. The Aztecs beat the Lobos in the pit the other night after Jalen House scores with 6 seconds left, and the place went bonkers. It was as loud as I can recall it at that point. And where's this season? I got all kinds of correspondence from you. And where do you go from here? And I'll tell you why I don't think it's over. But I know, Art, you want to talk about him. 505-606 how to get here. Art, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Art.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Well, thank you. What's happening?
Yeah, I just have a couple comments. Number one, great interview with Robin Cole. Appreciate that insight.
Thank you.
Number two, I don't know why there wasn't some type of adjustment on when they knew they were getting hot from the outside. Why did they lose focus on the three-point line and bring the ball up? I heard Hunter Green and
Robert.
I can't get the other cat talking about, with Robert talking about how maybe there's a way to make them earn a 5-second whatever. But I don't understand how is it that 2 games in a row that they're hitting from the outside, and you don't put like some big old horse right there in front of the guy, make them work to get the ball in, number one, and just to let him come up and give him that lane to say, oh, I got a lane, my focus is there, and they're hitting it, so their confidence is up. I think I'm not saying Pitino's a bad coach, but there has not been good coaching these overtime collapse as far as last-second shots. There has been good detail to really get these guys focused. This is what you need to do, focus. Don't play hero ball, but just focus. And I'll listen in, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Go ahead. You want to take that first?
Which part?
Any of it. I mean, whether
I guess the hero ball is at the end. It just was not a good defensive game plan. It wasn't on that final possession to just say, oh, he's going right to the basket. Well, then cut him off at some point. If you think he's going to the basket, don't let him have one person in his way running full court down to the basket with the head of steam. Like, trap him, cut him off. Even if you trap, they make a pass, they find the open guy. Well, at that point in time, they're passing. It's 3, 2, 1. It's a catch and just shoot. Like, make them do something else as opposed to letting the player.
It was too uninterrupted, right? It was just too comfortable. Yeah. To your point, some pressure in the backcourt would have been good. And Jamal backing off, expecting, and I expected them to go to the rim too. If you listen to Lamont Butler after the game, the guy who hit the shot, he says, I kind of lost the ball. The intent was to go to the rim. And he said, look back, you could see him kind of fumble it, briefly, not like he was going to lose it, but it certainly put him out of time to get to the rim. And he looked up, and the ball left his hand with half a second left. There wasn't a lot of time to get to the rim at that point. He casually walked it up the floor. Now, in retrospect, I mean, if you pressure him, do you run that timeout? I don't know. Then he accelerates, and does he kick and find Trammell in the corner? Does he find one of the bigs down low? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Right? I mean, typically, if you drive, you beat your man, somebody's coming off, and then the theory is there's a big wide open for an easy bucket. Right? There's a lot of things that could have happened. There's a lot of things that happen when you go to the rim. I mean, you could hear Pete Gillen, our buddy, on the broadcast, go to the rim, get to the rim, get to the rim. Right? He's screaming, and then his next one was after they hit.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. I was wrong. Butler did it with the shot. Yeah, look. That was more Steve Lapis, was it? Or Steve Lapis? Was that all right with the Gillen? All right. My Gillen and my Lapis get a little mixed up.
We haven't heard Lapis in a long time.
Yeah. The defense on that particular play, I know a lot of you. I got it here on the text line. It says, "How about not blowing a 10-point halftime lead?"
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't know. In college basketball, is a 10-point lead safe at half? Like,
it's a game of runs too.
It is, and that's a good team they play.
But also, this has been an ongoing problem throughout this season. The second half and just defense in general. Yeah. So it's not Mashburn, not guarding the last shot. This has been an ongoing problem throughout conference play.
The second half.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think when
they're
you go
not
back
a second half team.
I think I probably sent a text to these guys who are losing their
mind. I don't care if you're playing San Diego State or Wyoming. This has been a problem.
No, it's been a problem. In San Diego State is, I mean, who did they just play recently? Had a big second half. I think it was the Nevada game, right? They came back and had a big second half. That's a veteran good team, but you're a veteran good team too, right? And I know you're kind of tired of hearing, yeah, they're good. Well, damn it, we're supposed to be good too, is what I'm hearing, and you are. And it's the margin is so close, right? The margin, and we've gone back through this. The Blackshear ball rolls off the rim, or Lamont Butler doesn't hit that shot, and all of a sudden you feel so different. I mean, 2 plays in your season, and if you want to go back to the Udeze technical in Nevada, I mean, you can say 3 plays, right? It just changed the way you feel about the whole season. That's how close you are to really being right there. And I know it doesn't make you feel any better. I'm not sure I think it should. I'm just telling you my thought on it. Sherman, good morning to you. You're on the Sports Animal.
Hey, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good, Sherman. What's happening?
So here's my observation. Of course, I'm disappointed like every Lobo fan. And it was a super great game. It really was. But 6 seconds left, and then it reminds me there's really 2 kinds of coaches. There's the coaches that coach before the last play, and there's the coaches that coach after the last play.
Meaning what? Meaning you don't think that
Meaning, once the play's done, then we can all dissect it and say, well,
okay,
what,
I got it.
what
I
we
got
should
it.
have done.
There's us and then there's them.
Should have done that. Should have done this other thing. Yeah. I mean, once the play's over, don't all of us become coaches?
Yeah, we're all pretty damn good at that time too. I mean, and we can look at it from different angles and go frame by frame. We're all pretty damn good then. Yeah.
Because the observation you guys just made is correct. There was not enough time left to go to the rim.
Yeah.
So he took an incredibly awkward shot, and it went in.
It was a wide open look.
It was a wide open look, but watch the shot. It was very awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, this was not Arizona State, but it's the same thing to me.
All right. No, it's interesting. And no, Sherman, appreciate the call. Thanks. So I already hear you guys in the background saying, well, but we don't get paid,
No, I'm saying
to be the coach.
Problem, it wasn't an awkward shot.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good look. We walked right into
awkward shot is Desmond Cambridge, 3/4 court heave it as the time expires.
At Arizona.
Beat Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, he's squared up. I just showed you that still shot. I mean, he's pretty squared up. Is it awkward? I thought he was awkward when he kind of lost the ball out near midcourt. And that's where he's so right, though. We're all really good, and we were able to look at this 15 times and from every angle. And your response is, well, but that's what they're supposed to do. That's what the coach gets paid for. Look, Mash thought he was going to the hole. You thought he was going to the hole, and it's so easy to say, well, he should have seen that there was no time on the clock and come out and closed on him. Okay, all right, maybe we're played. It's hard. That one sucked. There's no two ways about it. That one sucked. Now, San Diego State's sitting there going, how did we let a 4-point lead slip away in 20 seconds? What the hell did we do there, right? I mean, they got crazy, and House had a good steal.
That's what, the Lobos were plus 10 in the first half. Aztecs were plus 12 in the second half. So if you can beat a team by double digits, a team like San Diego State has the ability to beat you by double digits in a half. It's a trend. And everyone knew it was coming. My tweet right at halftime was, what if I told you the Lobos played a great first half? And then everyone was like, well, hopefully you say they play a great second half, because you knew it was coming. The game was going to get tight. The Aztecs were going to go on the run. But even when like that's the MO of this Lobo team, it's still so hard to watch in a moment at home.
Yeah.
Right, they came back. The Lobos made the plays. They got to free throw line. Mash hit the 3 free throws. They get the steal. House goes right to the basket. Big time play by Jalen House. And then gutted.
HB says with 6 seconds left, I don't think I've ever seen a guy drive the length of the field and still get an open look, Jeffy. Even when he pulled up for the shot, Mash still never came to him. Well, I mean, yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. Now, I don't know, as I'm thinking about it, you've seen guys get open shots, but usually coming off a pick and getting fed, right? I mean, to his point, the guy ever calmly dribbles 6 dribbles up the floor and get that wide open? It's pretty rare. I mean, yeah, you if you've got a problem with the way they defended that, okay. And then the guy hits a wide open shot, and here we are feeling this way. All right, I'm going to continue with this, and I got a ton of correspondence on this. Let me ask you this. If the Lobos win the next 2, get to Friday night, go to the NIT, will you look back at this as a great year or a disappointing year? 505-246-0610. Know where you came from. Know what the last 5 years of Lobo basketball have been like. They win these next 2 games, which I think they're getting. Win a couple games in the conference tournament, get to Friday night, get to the semifinal. And still get left out of the field, go to the NIT. Great year? Good year? Or are you disappointed? 505-246-0610. Hey, business owners, your computers and your network secure? You better be sure about that, like really sure. You got to know your system's protected from hackers and cybercrime, because a gap in cybersecurity could do major damage to your business, and that threat is real. ABQ IT is a name you got to know. ABQ IT provides a thorough look at your computer security. They'll tell you where you're at risk. ABQ IT created a business model designed to protect you from malicious threats, keep your computers up to date, and they do it at one affordable cost. You need to know this as well. By June 9th of this year, many of you are going to have to ensure the personal data of your customers is protected. Are you aware of the FTC safeguards rule? Your business may face penalties if you're not compliant by that deadline. And with ABQ IT, you will be prepared. Look, there's no hourly rate, no labor billing, no hidden fees. Your rate is predictable and won't change. And you've got to protect your business. Flat out, it's not worth the risk, hoping and thinking that bad things won't happen to you. Visit the experts in cybersecurity and compliance online. It's abq-it.com, abq-it.com.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting the ball.
The dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hochschild gives it up. Shot is up. Oh! Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish. Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong fit.
She's going to got numbers. Going to
1 second. She slips it in. Just a. Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya. The screen, ball fake, but rejected. Oh, rejects it. Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a 3-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
E-Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
We're happy for the boys, and I was like,
Coach.
I guess they knew about it.
One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
It's kind of crazy. It's the last week of the regular season of college basketball. It's gone quickly. It's been fun. This has been a fun year, you guys. I know it's not where you want it to be right now. And when we look back on it, I hope you'll appreciate it, but it's been fun. We're going to be in Vegas next week for the tournament. Hopefully there'll be a great run for both the men and the women. Ladies were winners on senior night, 111-55. JJ's on his way to Fresno. We'll have a game for you tomorrow from Fresno as the ladies. Is it best for them to get into the top 5 and be on the UNLV side of the bracket, or to be 6, get Utah State, and kind of come in on the other side?
3?
3 would be great. Yeah, 3 would be
a possibility because UNLV, Wyoming, that's 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Wyoming's 13-5, UNLV 17-0.
Yeah, the 3 spot would be nice.
And then you have the Aztecs, Rams, and Lobos, along with the Broncos, all 11-6.
Yeah, well, it'll play itself out. All right, looking forward to being there, and we're going to be there courtesy of some sponsors: Coleman Vision, Perfect Game, California Closets, custom closet systems and solutions for the whole home. New Mexico Look, the best in New Mexico souvenirs and team apparel, and Rich Ford celebrating 62 years in the corner of Lomas and Wyoming Northeast. Thank you for them to make sure that we're there for you. Talking Liberal Men's, I'm going to ask you this question. Maybe I should hold this question for 3 weeks from now, but I'm going to ask you now anyway. So, if the Lobos go and Lobo men win these next 2 games, beat Fresno State at home tomorrow on senior night, go up to Colorado State and win and get to, let's just say they get to Friday, semifinals of the conference tournament, right? At that point, they would be 23 or 24 and 10. And let's say they go to the NIT. Knowing what you came off of this last 5 years and knowing how exciting this year was, how are you going to look at this year? And I'm going to tell you, I think you should. Well, I'll tell you how I'll look at it. I'm not going to tell you how you should. I will look at this as a success, as a year that local basketball returned, that the pit came alive, that you were nationally relevant for the first time in 8 years, that you had marquee wins on the road. Has there been a marquee win at home? Boise State. Right?
Yeah.
And in a year we didn't play the Aggies, which is a whole other story. Right? So that's how I'll look at it. If that's how this plays out. Now, look, if they go to the NCAA tournament, obviously it's going to be a spectacular year because it'll be a spectacular run here at the end, and that's what you're going to remember. But I'm going to remember this as a year as a year that, I was thoroughly entertained, that the program became relevant on a national scale, a game that was being talked about on a regular basis positively. Sports Illustrated did a story on the resurrection of your program and your coach and the building, that players are going to want to come here. That's how I'll look at it. Now, I know you're not all the same way, and granted, and I understand this. I'm not as vested in my heart in Lobo basketball as those of you who grew up with it and went to UNM, right? How will you remember this if that's the scenario?
This will be a disappointing season if they don't make the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
What you said is true. The fan base is alive and well. They pack the pit. They show out. They care. The energy, the good and the bad, it is all there. But this is a huge missed opportunity if they do not make the NCAA tournament, because the bar changed in season. It's no matter. It's not. What if I told you they were this and that? No, they missed opportunities to close out games on the road at Nevada. the bad losses stand out more to me than getting beat on buzzer beaters. Like, you have that performance against Air Force. You lose that game at home in Wyoming. And Rich Pitino sat there and told us Saturday night they didn't have Jalen House.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct for those games. But those stand out to me so much more than the buzzer beater losses, because if you win those games, you're still
in the conversation.
Because you showed you could win at St. Mary's, one of the best teams in the country. Yeah. You beat San Diego State on their home floor. Okay, they got you. You got the split there. And so, to me, I remember it as a disappointment, but the stuff you said is still true. But just from a straight, the highest level we've seen this team play, and if they're not in the NCAA tournament, it's a missed opportunity.
Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Dan.
Oh, hey, Jeff, it's Don.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
How you doing,
Good,
man?
Don. What's happening?
That's okay. Hey, this I'm kind of in your kind of with you, Jeff. I think the season is kind of, for me anyways, it's icing on the cake where we are. Second year of Pitino, we didn't expect this much. I don't think anybody did. I think that I was wondering maybe these guys are tired, but after that San Diego State game, they looked really good and they were hustling. I don't know. I don't know if they're just mentally drained, physically drained, or what. But I do have a question for you and JJ. I don't know if you have the answer, but I was reading today that a lot of these guys are eligible to come back. I think the only one that's not is Big Mo, because he used to call his eligibility. Have you guys heard it one way or the other? Like on House and Mashburn and Alec and these guys that are key pieces to this year's success.
So Mash is a junior, and House and Alec are seniors who still can opt in for their COVID year. And JJ, I don't have a sense. I really flat out do not have a sense of what they're going to do. House tested the NBA waters last year and then came back. There's a part of me that almost expects Josiah Alec to come back. And I only say that, and I don't know anything inside, because it feels like he's having so much fun and enjoys it here. And look, I mean, he's not an NBA guy. Now, could he go make money overseas? Probably. I don't know what his NIL deal is. And JJ, I just say that off of feel. I have nothing, no basis to go off of. But I don't know what House and Mashburn are going to do. I really, really have no idea.
Right. Okay.
All right,
hey, guys, thanks. And we're getting down to March Madness, man. It's going to be fun.
Thank you, Don. I mean, do you get a feel on those guys?
I'm with you on Alec. I could see him returning, especially as much as he's enjoying this experience. The Mash and House are just up in the air because you never know with someone or are they just ready to take a next step in their career.
Yeah.
I could see them all coming back, and I could see maybe one of the two other guys just being ready to move on.
I don't know what the NIL deals are, and it's not for us to know. I mean, they all have their, and I think that makes it a little different. I mean, can they make more money here, with their NIL deals and go to, if it's a G League thing or even if it's an overseas thing, which will probably be there for them a year from now, if everybody's goal is to get to the NBA. Do you see any of these guys in the NBA next year? Any of those four?
No.
Do you think Mash is an NBA guy? You think he's just too small, don't you?
I don't see them on an NBA roster next season.
Okay. G League?
They'd be associated with an NBA team, yes.
Yeah. I think Mash can play in the NBA, and I think House has an it, and I know there's some of you are losing your mind on this, that potentially can as well. Desi would be an undersized big that can't go outside, huh? And that would kind of preclude him a little bit. All right, yeah, I don't know where that is. And I know, that'll be a talk over the next 2-3 weeks, whenever the end does come. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. How are you going to remember this year? And I know there's still 2, 3, 4 weeks left. Who knows? But as it's trending now, I've got a ton of correspondence I'll read to you. You're all over the place at 505-246-0610. IPS watches my home. IPS, I bet you wish IPS would have been guarding Lamont Butler the other night, don't you? On that three-point play when he stole that game from you in the pit. No, I understand. But they guard my home. They guard businesses. They guard hundreds of homes and businesses in Albuquerque. Because the bad guys are out there, IPS can watch what's important to you as well. I reached out years ago, and there was a home invasion, somebody very close to us, and we decided, you know what, we're going to add this layer of security. I'm glad we did. Highly trained armed guards, 24-hour patrols. Aaron Jones started this company in Fort Hills 17 years ago, and now companies and homeowners all over Albuquerque are trusting IPS to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Don't let the bad guys just come in and destroy it. Call IPS to protect what's important to you. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say, people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers, they maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, anywhere with cell service. Download the KNML app in the Google Play or iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
All right, so you guys are all over the place today on Louisville basketball. Next line says, so if Louisville's win their next two, get to the championship and lose, they get an NCAA bid. And the answer is possible, but not probable. Robert says, just be honest. The only ticket to the real tournament is win the Mountain West tournament. That's what matters. Flush it. I mean, I think he's probably more realistic, but you're holding out hope.
But that's where my frustration really comes from, because that is so hard. To just have to be like, oh, we have to win. In Vegas, get into the tournament when you had the start, when you have some of the wins on the resume. To have the amount of misses this team has in conference play is why it's disappointing to be looking at. Well, you got to do in Vegas. You got to do in Vegas. But yes, this team can absolutely win the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah.
And they can lose the first game they play.
Yeah.
That's what we've seen, what we've learned about this basketball team. And that's where I look at it as a big missed opportunity.
Jeff's in on the question that the last caller asked, who's coming back of the big four? You could have three of them. You could have none of them. Jeff says, I think they're all back. NIL money there for them. Dent's the only one I'm hearing is iffy. UCLA wants him back in Cali. He says, we do need a couple of more bigs. Don't be surprised if some guys transfer out because we might get better players. Yes. You got to get, look, I think Toppin can come in and contribute as a freshman. If Donovan stays, your backcourt's really good. KJ Jenkins have a COVID year. Can he stay too? He's done, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. And you're going to go find bigs in the transfer. I think Richard's proven that he can do that.
We're going to have, you assume, two young wings. Webb will be in that rotation.
And the young man who just signed from Arizona.
Toppin. The True Washington. So you have a guard in the mix.
Yeah. All right. So I got two different, and then we're going to phones. Totally different concept on do players want to be here? The one that I agree with, Richard Pitino said after the game the other day, it's this atmosphere. This is, players want to come play here. This is what people want to come to. And then I got this on the text line. It says, Jeff, this is why coaches and players leave UNM. A last-second prayer goes in, and all of a sudden Pitino sucks and House is this and that. Give me a break. This is the best team and coach we've had in years. From Chris. I don't know that I think this is why people are leaving. And people are going to leave because there's criticism on a radio show or on Twitter or in the newspaper or on your message board. I think passion, and I've told you this, passion goes both ways. When you were 12-0 and you get and people were losing their mind with wonderful hysteria, it was great. And you probably weren't that good. And I'm going to tell you, you're not as bad as some of you think you are. And those of you who are riding Jalen House, I mean, did you miss him when he was gone for 2 games? He made the steal at the end of the game. He got his hand in the passing lane, got the ball and got you up by 6 seconds to go, and the pit was as loud as it's been in years. I get it, man. He's unconventional. He's cocky. He's verbose. He's dynamic. He's special. He's quick. He's erratic. He's all those things. You're going to miss him when he's gone. I'm just telling you.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if that's why I think people are going to leave this place. Do you?
Who's left because of that?
I don't recall one. I just don't. Ray, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Ray.
How's it going, guys?
What's up?
Yeah, I think Lobos. I think they're going to put it all together in the tournament. They're one half, and then the second half they have about 8-10 minutes where they don't play good. Then they come back again. But the game Saturday night was a good game, and anybody that knows basketball, San Diego State's too good of a team to get down 13. You know they're going to make a run, and they're going to come back sooner or later, and they're going to start hitting their shots. And that's exactly what happened. And the people should get off of House. House is a hell of a player. I would take just he's 6 foot tall, but I would take 5 houses on my basketball team anytime. And for that caller that called earlier today saying that House didn't go through the lineup to shake hands, yeah, he did. Jenkins is the one that went up the ramp when the game ended. Jenkins went up the ramp, House stayed out there, and he shook hands with the guys. Thanks.
Yeah, no, appreciate you. I don't know. I didn't see it. I honestly, flat out, just didn't see it. I don't know who shook hands, who didn't. I know there was another celebration that ended up right in front of the people who sit underneath the South Basket. I know that there was another team wearing dark uniforms or wearing the other color uniforms. By the way, you like the turquoise? Do you like those turquoise?
Oh, yeah.
I do too. I like them a lot. I know that there was another team celebrating on your floor. That sucks, man. And to your point, what did you tell me earlier? You said you were sitting there thinking, how does this happen again? To get beat on 2 buzzer beaters in your building in a month. And the February thing, JJ, I'm not a big hocus pocus guy. And Grammer put out the February records in the paper the other day, or in his column. The February thing is real around here. And somebody said, are they tired? Everybody's tired, right?
Talk to any college basketball coach. It doesn't matter who you are playing. February wins matter to them. Whether you're playing a first-place team or the last-place team in the conference. Because everyone is pushing through the last few speed bumps until they get to the conference tournament.
I don't buy this, well, they're tired thing. And you know why I don't buy it? You know who else is tired? Everybody else should be tired. I mean, everybody's going through the same thing. But the February records and I was looking through this the other day. Over the last bunch of coaches, it is crazy. Lobos this year are 1-6 in February. Last year they were 4-4. Paul Weir's working backwards. 1-3, 2-6, 2-5, and then they were 5-2. Craig Neal, 3-4, 3-5, 0-8, 6-1. Then you go back to Alfred, they were pretty good. But if you go back since 2015, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? And I don't know how to go back and assess what you're doing. Is there a common denominator? Why are the other guys getting better and you're not? I don't know. And I didn't really buy into it until I just stared at those numbers the other day for a few minutes. And they're hard to argue. And I don't understand it. Because
this year's especially is really frustrating. Being 1-6.
Oh. I don't get it either. All right, I'm going to get through some of your emails when we get back. 505-246-0610. We're going to get into some football stuff, and should the Robin Cole was good. Former Steeler great Robin Cole was with us this morning at 7:30. If you missed it, it's up. It's a conversation you probably do want to hear. He talks about his time at UNM and tells some good stories about being with the Steelers. Robin Cole's up wherever you get your podcasts. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. It's there, but Amory's got it up, and it's certainly worth a few minutes of your time. I think you'll enjoy that. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming on Little Basketball today. Hey, fellas, how you feeling? Tired? Sluggish? It's just too often, huh? I might have some help for you. NuMale's been helping men all over the country for years deal with things like this, like fatigue and depression and weight gain, even erectile dysfunction, and they'll help you feel better. And now for men and ladies who deal with hair loss, NuMale can take care of you as well. The number to call is 505-652-1688, area code 505-652-1688, or you can go online at NuMale, NuMale.com. So this hair restoration, options, and they're state-of-the-art, and they work. NuMale's professionals walk you through the options. You'll choose what's best for you. They'll offer you platelet-rich plasma hair therapy that uses your own platelets to stimulate stem cells deep in your hair follicle. You'll stop hair loss and regrow hair. There's an FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser proven to regrow hair, and NeoGraft hair transplants which produce natural-looking results in less than a week, and there is no linear scarring. Gentlemen, ladies, give NuMale a call. The number is 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or online at newmail.com.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting the
Could be
ball.
the dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hostile gives it up. Shot is up. Oh! Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish. Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong fit.
She's going to got numbers. Going to
1
make it.
second. She slips it in. Just a. Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya. The screen, ball fake, but rejected. Boom. Rejects it. Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a 3-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
E-Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
We're happy for the boys, and oh boy. I guess they knew about it.
One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say, people mean more.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Sports Animals, it says here on the Sports Animal text line. It breaks my heart to see those losses, and I really love how hard they play. I firmly believe one play never decides a game. Go Lobos, it says, from Steve. All right, you guys are all over Lobo basketball. We'll get there. If you want to get in on the passing of their former gymnastics coach, Rusty Mitchell. Old timers, those of you been around long enough to remember what Rusty and his program that he passed away this weekend. A great Lobo, a great program. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. Frank, thanks for holding. Good morning, Frank. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Man, this team makes me drink a hell of a lot of whiskey. I swear to God,
Hopefully
the end of them. I rarely get to see the end of the game, but I love them. I think they're incredible. I like the coach. I think he learns from other teams we played. See those backdoor plays, from those Air Force plays we pulled on those guys? And San Diego State, God, man, they're good. I mean, for us to hang with those guys, we must be good, huh?
I think the Lobos
Something's going on.
Yeah, I think the Lobos are a good team.
Yeah. You know, I wish he would learn one thing from his dad, and you need a longer bench. Get those guys on the court, man. Get the big white guy out there. Get him on the court. Let him play. Let him learn. I think that's why we can't finish. We don't have a long bench.
It's interesting.
You know?
Yeah, there's not a lot of depth.
I'm in till the end. One last thing. It's nice to hear somebody besides Edward has 5 houses. Thanks, guys.
It's actually funny. So he doesn't get to see the end of the game, so he probably wakes up and isn't as bummed as everybody else who wakes up, just has more of a headache. The big white guy, as he said, Sebastian Forsling, is injured. I don't know if we see him again until the conference tournament, right? From what I'm hearing. Yeah, they're not deep. And I don't know that that's necessarily by design. JJ, we've talked a lot about Webb redshirting, losing J. Allen Tovar as he left after 3 games, and then Applehan's going having surgery. I think you probably lose some of your depth there. And San Diego State played 9 guys multiple minutes. Ledee only played 9 because he was in foul trouble, but their rotation is 9. I don't know how deep you want to be. I think 8 to 9 is probably where you want to be. 7 makes it tough, especially when you get in foul trouble or someone's got an off shooting night, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that'll be there'll be a couple of things to address. Look, in the offseason last year, you went in and said, what do the Lobos have to address? They've got to find bigs. I think he did a hell of a job finding bigs, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, he found 2 terrific bigs in Udeze and in Alec. Now he's going to have to find some more and get a little bit more depth. And I think that's right. it's hard to remember where you were and realize this is year 2. Now you want this thing turned around quickly, and I'm going to tell you, it damn near
That's
turned
where
around
the
quickly.
frustration comes from.
I know you saw
It's
it.
because they have been that good.
I know.
It's not, oh, this is just icing on the cake. It's you've seen those flashes of this team can beat anyone in the Mountain West Conference. The St. Mary's game is one of the best ones this program has had in a long time. And that's what adds to it. Like, it's everything that people are saying. Like, you can be excited for where this program is, but there also is a level of frustration because you're there right now.
Yep.
And at-large bids are hard to come by,
especially out of non-Power 6 leagues.
And when you had it right there,
I know.
I'm not the Nevada games, Buzzbeat, or San Diego State games that happened. I just keep going back to I don't know what happened to that team those 2 games, even with Jalen House out, to play as badly as they did, because that's a difference. Because if you win those 2 games,
you're still in the mix.
You're still in the mix. That's the margin for bubble teams.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all, and that's going to be the determining factor, whether or not they had House in the lineup to get beat by double digits by the last place team in your own gym. If you're sitting in the committee and you're not attached to this team and you have no connection and right, it's black and white. They fall on the wrong side of that because of that. So what happened there? I don't know, man. And maybe there'll be a conversation afterwards, but I think it shows you how good House is, how important House is. And for those of you who for some reason fell on the wrong side of the House conversation, I'm not telling you the wrong side. You don't like him. I don't know what more you needed to see. You're good, man. You were a last-second shot away from sweeping the best team in the league. 22nd team in the country, right? You beat St. Mary's on the road. You're good. You got some bad breaks, but you're pretty good. And I know that doesn't make you feel any better. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk a little NFL. Bears have been approached about the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Should they do it? What are they leaning towards? I will tell you next. It's the opening drive. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Very much appreciate you remembering that you listened to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say, people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers, they maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit.
Well, in 2 days, we can say the NFL Draft is next month. Yep, it's almost March. Final Monday of February, the NFL Draft is almost next month. Chicago Bears have the number one pick in the NFL Draft. Good morning to you. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, Amory. Chicago Bears have been approached by multiple teams in regards to trading the number one pick. And they are said to be, quote, leaning towards, end quote, moving that pick. Quotes from Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter's never wrong. Good morning. We'll get back into a little basketball here in a little bit, but I want to update you on what's going on in the NFL. So the Bears, there's been talk about, do they trade Justin Fields and then use that top pick to go out and get one of those two quarterbacks at the top of the draft? Or do they trade the top pick and load up? The Bears own the top pick, and there's 8 teams, 12 teams that need or want to make a switch at quarterback. And since the merger in 1967, the number one pick has been traded. How many times do you think? So 1967, that would be, what is that? 33 and 23 is 56 years, right? How many times do you think the number one pick has been traded instead of the team who has it?
8.
8? What do you think?
11.
The number would be 12.
Man,
yeah.
JJ, you're so close.
Yeah, that's within the margin of error.
Do I get to come on stage and play Plinko now?
Yes.
Yeah, come on up. Last time it happened was when the Rams moved from 15 to 1 and took Jared Goff. All right. Do you like this? Do you think they should? And what would be enough for you to get for the number one pick?
A number one pick next year, or
you want a lower pick this year? You still want to be in the?
Well, you're probably just going 2 to 4. But where it could get crazy is Vegas and Carolina.
Yeah,
at 7 and 9. They throw some ridiculous packages at you to go up and get their quarterback?
I think it's also too early until we see what happens with Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr.
And Jim Garoppolo.
And Jimmy Garoppolo.
And Lamar, yeah.
Once that happens, but I definitely can see the Bears. I mean, Justin Fields is their guy, so they probably should trade.
Okay. And load up. And so if they're going to take a pass rusher.
Sounds like Justin Fields is their guy, though, with that statement this morning.
I think that's right. I think that, and you guys I know have been on this train. And I think Justin Fields, it's certainly the safer move, right? If you trade away a guy who was your franchise quarterback and he ends up being a star in this league and you end up drafting one of these guys that doesn't work, you're done. Now, how much of a risk do you want to take? I told you earlier in this cycle that if you firmly believe that one of these guys at the top of the draft is better than Justin Fields, like you're convinced this is 100%, he's better than, Bryce Young is better than Justin Fields, then I would trade Justin Fields.
We don't know.
No, you never know until you
But,
see.
Yeah, it's,
But if you firmly believe that, then you can get a haul for Justin
I don't
Fields.
think you can.
You don't?
No. Just because it
Raiders?
I think that's you could get.
What's worth more, the first round pick or Justin Fields?
Probably the first round pick right now.
Which means, I mean,
Or the first
if
overall.
A plus B equals C and it doesn't,
I think it's just it's safer, but I also think it's a better move from a franchise if you're Chicago, knowing all right, Justin Fields can be an electric player in the NFL.
Get the haul, baby. Get the haul.
Start building around.
Yeah, have
it.
a
They haven't done
quarterback.
that yet.
No, they haven't.
They spent last
Chase
season
Claypool. Okay, great.
trading away their best players defensively. So now it's a point where you start building the franchise around him to compete instead of looking forward. Now's the time you got to start cashing in on that with a young quarterback.
So what do you want for it? You want to trade down a 4 or 2 or whatever, and the next year first round, and what else? Or is that it?
Second round pick this year.
Okay. Second round pick's nice. You can get good players in the second round.
You can hold out for a lot with the number 1 overall pick.
You say take the haul.
Oh, yeah. You have Justin Fields. Get the haul.
All right.
Trade up.
All right. I'm just looking through some of the stuff that what can they get for it? What can you get?
The Texans have 11 picks in the 2023 draft.
Are there any players you want?
I'd probably the one thing if I'm looking at it, unless it's we'll give you like our next 3 first round picks.
Colts have 4.
I don't want to follow the top 10 if I'm Chicago.
No.
I want one of those, probably the lowest, Carolina at 9.
Okay, but then you want more.
like
it would
it.
have, if someone else comes up, if you're looking at a Houston or one of those teams that's 12 or lower, then I'm like, you're gonna have to be throwing me a few more future first round picks than you'd probably be comfortable with. Right?
No, 100%. But I'm not concerned about your comfort. I need to be made whole here, and if this is so valuable to you, then you're going to be a little uncomfortable.
You're coming in with at least bare minimum 2 first round picks, multiple second round picks.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Fair.
And if I got my quarterback and I'm dropping a 4, then I'm down. Yeah, then you can have it and you can get your guy. All right. If you're Bears fan, I know you're there. Bears fan is there. You can get in on this. All right. The Rodgers thing has to be settled this week, doesn't it?
No.
No, actually, because no, he wants to probably let this keep on going with his brand. But
how long do they let it go? Because there's a lot of not just whispers, but chatter that they're about done with this. Like this is every year with them and him. And you went into your little darkness retreat and you got your mind straight, supposedly. Figure it out. What the hell are we doing? The draft is next month. No?
I don't think they're like that. I think they're just like, Aaron, take your time.
No, at some point they need to be like that.
I don't think they're going to be.
I mean, at some point, like, here, man, there's $60 million. You want $60 million of our money or you want to get the hell
Yes,
out?
he does. And
Well, I know he wants $60 million. And that's why I think he's going to be back. Because I think if they trade him to the Jets or they trade him to the Raiders or they trade him wherever, don't you think the whole thing gets restructured? What's he going to get, 2 years at 100? If he goes somewhere. Do they redo the deal or I don't know. But you guys think this is going to just linger and linger and linger?
Well, I think in general, by March 7th, when the franchise tag has to happen with like Lamar Jackson, and a lot of stuff has to happen by the end of the first week in March or whatever the date is, March 7th, I think we'll see what happens.
Well, the Lamar thing, I firmly believe he's franchise tagged there. I just do. I don't think they want to eat it. I don't think they want to eat it. I don't think they want him to go somewhere. And by the same token, I don't think they want to. They're not going to pay him this, because every report I've heard is every counter comes back with Lamar saying, "Nope, $250 million guaranteed."
Yeah, because the first one was like $133 million guaranteed, and now we've been waiting on that. Yep.
So it sounds like, and I know there's plenty of people who say he shouldn't budge, and Deshaun Watson has that. It sounds like they're moving and he's not. right? And so I think this ends up with they want this quarterback there, and they're going to franchise him. I don't know that I see if Lamar's not going to budge and not going to sign for anything less, I don't know that I see any other solution. And I know people say, well, they're going to trade him. I don't know. Well, he's going to be unhappy. Still going to be making $45 million this year. How unhappy is he going to be to walk away? He's not walking away from it. And he's going to be playing for a long-term deal again. Like, you guys tell me the solution you see other than that. Going to the Raiders?
No, I don't.
Falcons?
What do they have to give?
8th overall pick.
What's that going to get you? Will Levis? Maybe? Maybe?
I'm with you. I think it's a franchise tag for Lamar Jackson.
I just don't see another solution. I don't see another way. If he's not going to budge, well, he's going to be unhappy. You know what? Dudes have played unhappy before. You know what makes them happy? $45 million.
Guaranteed.
Tends to make dudes happy. I flat out don't see another way. But if you do, I'm listening. I'm listening.
I mean, their backup quarterback has played fine. He almost beat the Bengals. One fumble away on the goal line.
Says, how about the Bears get a stud wide receiver, the guy from USC? Yeah, I mean, they could use a stud receiver. They could use a lot of things.
Trading down.
Yeah, that's why you trade. Yeah,
Right.
that's why you trade.
No, and look, you know why they have the first pick overall? Because they
just don't need a quarter. They're not taking.
I
That's
promise
not
you.
happening.
I promise you.
I mean, they might take the defensive guy from Alabama, but they're not. They rather trade.
The reason
trade
they need
down.
so
Sorry,
much
not
is,
up.
or the reason they have the first round pick, or the number one overall pick, is because they need a lot of things. That's usually what happens to teams who have earned the number one overall pick in the draft. Yeah. Now, could they get a receiver later? Yeah. And they should, by the way. And they flat out should. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I've got, I know you sent me a ton of emails and texts, and I haven't got a lot of the Lowell basketball stuff. I'm going to start getting through your conversation on Lowell basketball. And the loss over the weekend of San Diego State and how it went down and your thoughts on the big picture, on the game itself, on the conference tournament. All that is coming up when we return, and you can get in at 505-246-0610. But some very pointed stuff. And you know, is Richard Pitino the coach? I'm going to tell you, heck, yes, he is. But why some of you are questioning it, we'll hit that as well. If you're a business owner, listen up. Or if you work for a business owner, you can score big points with the boss. The federal government's promised over $135 billion with a B dollars in tax refunds for small and medium-sized businesses who kept employees on payroll through COVID. So business owners are eligible for the employee retention credit even if you received PPP funds. RefundsPro.com specializes in cutting through the red tape and qualifying for this government program can be quick and easy. Most refunds are over $100,000. Could you use that money right about now? There's no downside to apply. Absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. And the best part, you don't have to pay a penny back to the government. There is a deadline. So visit RefundsPro.com. Get started before it's too late. You heard me right now. This is not a loan. It's a refund on your business taxes. RefundsPro.com makes qualifying simple. So visit RefundsPro.com to see if you qualify instantly. That's RefundsPro.com.
The madness is coming.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, That's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special...
All right, I got all kinds of correspondence after the Lobos lose 73-71 San Diego State over the weekend. Final home game of the regular season tomorrow night. Fresno State's in town for senior night. Sold out pit last Saturday. Last second shot by Lamont Butler. New San Diego State to win. It's funny. Everybody's got a different perspective, different thought on what happened. It was bad defense. It was a great shot. Whatever. San Diego State, I'm reading some stuff from their fans. It says, if I'm New Mexico, this is coming from an Aztec, or any team we're playing, I give Butler that shot as a buzzer beater. If he takes 10 of them, I think he makes 2 of them. It was at least a couple of feet behind the three-point line. And another one says, would guess most coaches would say the same thing. Try to defend any shooter. It's – and I'm going to read you your correspondence on the defense on the last play and all those things. Was the defense, to both of our thought, I mean, would you like to see more pressure? Certainly bringing the ball up. Everybody thought he was going to the rim. His coach thought he was going to a rim. His coach being Brian Dutcher of San Diego State. The CBS crew was screaming, get to the rim, get to the rim, get to the rim. And then he splashes a 3, and everybody's a genius. It was one of those, oh, no, like Todd says, go to the rim, go to the rim. Oh, yes, right? I mean, it was one of those.
Absolutely.
I look, if you're going to ask me, would I rather give Malcolm Butler a 3 or have the ball, let Bradley create or get it inside of one of their bigs? This is probably the poison you pick.
Yeah, the percentages are low, but it's wild that it happened again.
Mm-hmm.
That a dagger on that same end get you at home.
Lobo Hobo says, can I make a hot take, Jeffy? Maybe Lobo basketball isn't that good. Huh? I think they're pretty good. Are they that good? Obviously, they're not that good because they're 7-9 in the league. I believe it was Bill Parcells, right? Who said you are what your record says you are. And that's what you are. You're 7-9 in league play. I think we all believe they're better than that, but if that's, yeah, the numbers will back you up if that's how you feel. I've watched a lot of good basketball this year from this team. Bad Street says, reply to Dave, Jeff, I see no scenario where Lobo basketball is any better than at large, is any better at large than a first four, which is not the NCAA tournament, in my opinion. They need to win it all at Wise Pies West. Well, it is. And it would be tremendous progress to get into Dayton this year. And by the way, almost every year a team comes out of Dayton and gets to the second round. Or second weekend. Dan says, Juan Jose State. Jeffrey Yanamaria. The real gut punch Lobo basketball wasn't a desperation 3 at Dream style. It was a shocker in the Bay Area that might have put them in the play-in game. Where did that come from? We haven't really got into that, have we? We've not talked about what San Jose State did to Boise State and really got it anywhere else around this league, what happened over the weekend, because that really did affect you. And this was Saturday afternoon before you all went out to the pit. San Jose State beat Boise State in overtime, 74-68. Omari Moore had 24 points for San Jose State. And what that did for you, boys and girls, is put the Lobos right now solidly in 6th place. And in that play-in game, Lobos need to win the last 2 and hope that San Jose State loses either at home to Colorado State or Advantage Spartans right now, huh?
Yeah, they played a great second half. They were really good down the stretch. Boise State thought they were going to roll, coast their way to another regular season title.
And were they looking ahead to San Diego State coming in there? I think it's tomorrow night. San Diego State's in Boise. But yeah, it's huge. I don't know if that was the real gut punch, Dan. I think the real gut punch was watching Lamont Butler's 3-point splash through the nets and watch the pit go silent. But that was part of the gut punch, yeah. Deutsch says, so proud of the Aztecs, Jeff. They hosed by the refs all night and still found a way to pull it out. Parrish hit a clear 3 with 9 minutes left. The replay confirmed it. The official right there called it a 2, and for some reason it was never reviewed. Yeah, I saw a lot of chatter about that. I don't know if they got hosed by the ref. Just because there's nothing in a rule book anywhere that says the fouls have to be equally called amongst teams. They don't grade this on the damn curve. Sometimes one team commits more fouls than the other. Why is it? Well, I mean, they got 8 fouls called on them, and they only have 3. I mean, obviously the refs are calling the game in their favor. No, there's different styles. Sometimes some dudes foul more than others.
That's definitely a talking point for
always
head coaches.
Always. Is there a rule out there that says they have to be called evenly?
Boy, they will let the refs know.
Yeah.
What that foul discrepancy is.
Maurice says, look at the bright side, Jeff. A month ago, I was hearing Dickie P was an All-America coaching candidate. Lobo basketball was going to have a hard time keeping him. No one, and I mean no one, is talking about him leaving now, Maurice. Yeah, I mean, this probably bought you another year of Richard Pitino. That's good, right? Look, Richard's been nothing but good for this program.
Absolutely. And that's where if you're talking about how you feeling about this season, why I lean more towards, as of right now, disappointed because they have gotten so many things right in year 2.
He's recruited well. He's coached well. You can talk about some late game stuff. The end of the Nevada game, the end of this game. Yes, as you can, by the way, with Mick Cronin and Tom Izzo and every coach in America. I'm going to tell you, Richard Pitino has been nothing but positive for this program. And if you don't think so, just go back And look where they were the day he got here and look where they are now. Look at the season you just had, and you were all going to the NCAA tournament. I got it. I understand what's happened in February. I don't even think it's arguable that it's been all positive. This one's from Dean. It says, Lobos, yes, 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 on what JJ mentioned on pressure. At half court, it might give a layup. Not likely. But what it does, and he's talking about the last play of the game here. He says, what it does, I think, is cause a more difficult shot or deflection. So, if Mountain West Conference tournament starts today, 6 plays 11 and stays away from the Aztecs in day 2, correct? I think Lobos, on their A game, the best team in the Mountain West. So 3 or 4 days in Vegas. Get it done. Go Lobos. So right now, they would play Wyoming in the first round on Wednesday. Then they would get into the 3-6 game and probably play Nevada. Right? Second round. Nevada and Boise State are tied. Now, if San Diego State beats Boise State up in Boise, then you might get Boise State. Nevada's got 2 left to get Wyoming and UNLV. But it would be, if you get through that first game, get through Wyoming, then you would go into Thursday and get a shot at Boise State or Nevada. Look, it's 4 games. You don't have a deep team. It's going to be tiring. It's a lot of minutes. It's a lot of basketball. Playing the extra game is a disadvantage, JJ. But it's like you're talking about with the women. Would you rather play out of the 6 hole? I understand you have to play that first game and get Nevada or Boise State in the first game. Stay away from San Diego State until potentially the last night.
If you're the Lobos,
I'd rather get the bye.
I'd rather have the bye.
Yes.
The Lobo men, I'd rather have the
yes.
bye. Because they got you at home, but that's 2 games where you're not going in there going,
I'm not afraid of San Diego State.
Again.
Well, I'm not afraid of San Diego State if I'm them. Now, the women, it's a whole other story looking at what UNLV is. UNLV is a different beast than everybody else in that league in women's basketball. UNLV is a different level. I don't know that now, do I think San Diego State's better? I mean, obviously they're what they are. They're 23-5 and they found ways. But do I think they're way better? No. And you proved that the other night. You proved that when you went there. Can you play with Boise State? Can you play with Nevada? Can you play with Utah State? Yeah, you can play with anybody in this league. The women's a different story. You're headed up to Fresno today, right? Beautiful, beautiful Fresno, California.
Fresno, California.
All right. How's Fresno State's women?
They are 3-14 in conference.
Because the Lobos are on a roll and won 5 in a row, correct?
5-0, 9 of their last 11. And they could finish anywhere from 3 to 6 right now.
Yeah, 3 to 6. All right, we're going to be in Vegas. Looking forward to being there. Conference tournament starts next week. Next week. This is the final week of the regular season for college basketball. Thank you to California Closets for sending us to Vegas next week. Custom closet systems and solutions for the whole home. New Mexico Look, the best in New Mexico souvenirs and team apparel. Coleman Vision, perfect game. And Rich Ford, celebrating 62 years at the corner of Lomas and Wyoming Northeast. It's the opening drive. I'm glad you spent some time with us today. I got way more correspondence to get to you. If you want to get on a little basketball, you can. If you want to get in also on the Bears and the first pick. Meanwhile, in the NBA, one dude scored 71 yesterday, and another team came back from 27 points down. What on earth is going on there? We'll get into that as well.
Tomorrow, we've been talking about it. It's the last men's Lobo home game at Fresno State, and I have the place to go for you. Been telling you all season long. It's flown by. It's been awesome at 377 Brewery. 377 Brewery is located on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson. It's right around the corner from the pit. And this past Saturday, right before the San Diego State game, you guys packed it out. You utilized their back room, their huge event space, their heated patio, renovated new heated patio. And it's just been awesome all season. Thank you so much for everyone that's come out. You guys did not disappoint. It's been a lot of fun. Tomorrow, let's make it bigger, better, end on a high note this season, and more events to come in the future at 377 Brewery. So come out. Pregame starts 5 to 8 p.m. The game's at 8:30. We're going to get you in and out with their amazing scratch kitchen, great booze, good cocktails, and just we have free prizes to give out to all pregame long. So come out tomorrow, 377 Brewery, again on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson, or check them out at 377brewery.com.
The Mountain West.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
These are more than just the sound of a safe place to go after school.
Was picked by the media, and if they finish sixth, that's a positive question mark? Well, I mean, no, I'm not. Look, no, it's not. It's not. I'm not telling. No. Fair enough. If that's how you base whether or not the season was good on where they picked, where they finished in respect to their media projection, then no. Your answer is no. No. I'm not. Look, I'm not telling you don't be disappointed with what's happened in February. Your expectations rose. The bar was completely driven up, and you realize, damn, this team is good. JJ, I realized this. I got to call 2 games when Rob was calling football in November, right? I called the South Alabama game and the Jacksonville State game. I get it, man. And that's not San Diego State and Boise. I got it. But I remember coming back and telling you at that time, I think this team's good. I think they legitimately have a shot at the NCAA tournament. And I know some people said, yeah, whatever. They were in. I mean, if I'd have sat here, I don't know, however long ago, a month ago, and said, they're not going in, you'd tell me no. Mud also says the Lobo fans are going to have to endure another buzzer beater with Fresno State, but with Lobo win results. We'll be in the field of 68. Lobos will play Arizona as a number 15 seed, taking on a 2 seed Arizona. Mark my words. How are they going to get in as a 15 seed, dude? Lobos are not going to be there's not even a path to a 15 seed. 15 seeds are conference champions out of the SWAC and the MEAC and maybe not the MEAC, Big South or the Horizon League.
If they win the Mountain West Conference tournament,
there'll be a 10 or 11.
They're 10 to 12.
And if for some, and if if they're going to get in as an at-large, it's going to be the last at-large and going to Dayton and fighting for an 11 or 12. I probably would bet anything I got they're not a 15 seed. Of everything I know, they will not be 15 seed. I just know the way those things are put together. It's not how that's going to work. But okay. I mean, look. This one, it's weird. James wants to talk about the women. Jeff, whoever would have thunk a month ago Lady Lobos would finish with a far better conference record than the men. What's the women's record?
They are 11-6 in conference play.
Yeah, it's pretty good. This is from Richard. He says, when you start 14-0 and lose 9 of the next 15, Nunez needs to turn the program upside down to figure out what went wrong, Jeff. From the coaches and players to the trainers and facilities, the broadcasters, the cheerleaders, the chaparrals, or band, or that DJ guy, what the hell is that? No stone should be left unturned when it comes to figuring out why there was a total collapse. Collapse is a really interesting word. And I guess it's, when you just look at numbers, collapse is a word that's going to come in, right?
DJ Spongy for the win.
What's wrong with the DJ?
I don't even think I recognize.
I'm trying to think what. I'm sorry. I was just that comment.
No, I understand what a DJ does.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm well aware that. I guess, and I've been to almost all the games. I don't know that I even.
He did a dance-off last game.
He did?
He was one of the ones doing the dance-off on the floor.
Where was I?
Taking pictures with Edward.
Oh, yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah, that must have been it. Did I take a picture with Edward?
I don't know.
I posted one. I don't know if you did on Saturday or not.
Interesting. That must have been where I was.
Doing your selfie autograph thing up in the concourse.
Yeah,
Just you and Robin Cole.
Yeah. I did have to do some of that too. Yeah. What's wrong with the DJ thing?
I don't know. I just thought that was a weird comment on the take.
So we got to get rid of Hoser
on the
too?
collapse. I
Get
guess.
off my rocks, old man take.
Oh,
Get rid of the
yeah.
DJ.
No
Hoser,
cheerleaders, no DJs.
He's become very good at that.
Who? Hoser? Hoser does a hell of a job. Yeah, Hoser does a great job. All right, Robert in Rio Rancho says, depth or offense problem? I frequently hear comments about depth being an issue for the Lobos. KJ Jenkins shot 4 for 5 with 11 points the first half against the Aztecs. He was on fire. He had 0 shot attempts in the second half. Is that really a depth problem or perhaps an offensive design and execution problem when the hot hand doesn't get any shots? Great show as always. It's from Robert. Okay.
Right, element of design, and there are little tweaks that are made. First half to second half.
Mashburn averages 19 points a game.
Yeah.
Tied for 32nd.
In the nation?
And it says tied for 32nd on ESPN, so I don't know if that's the nation.
I don't think Mash or House were a problem in the second half. They were getting their shots.
No.
It was just with
second half and defense has been a problem. I don't think it's their offense.
Yeah, I would argue that defense has been an issue throughout the season at times. And look, am I telling you the reason they lost the other night is depth? No, that's not what I'm saying the other night. Hardly. Now, if you're going to ask me to go win 4 games in 4 nights, depth could be a concern at that point. But no. The other night it wasn't defense. Amusing, says AC. I thoroughly love how you talk Lobo fan off the ledge while still giving them hope for the tourney. They are done. I think
they say hope, or are we being realistic with what they can still do?
Well,
that's the crazy about the madness.
I think what this guy's saying is they're done. There is no hope.
With nothing?
Like, I mean with nothing.
Or going to the tournament?
Yeah, for the tournament. Yeah,
still win a Mountain West Conference.
Yeah. Yep. And by the way, we're going to sit here in 2 weeks, and if they get in the NIT, we're going to be looking at matches and going, oh, they're playing. That's a great matchup, but they're coming to the pit, and there's another opportunity, right? They'll be a top 4 seed in the NIT, won't they? In a bracket?
Hopefully.
I mean, I guess, look, here's the other thing. We're really taking for granted they're going to win these next 2 games.
Yeah, and how's that worked out for them so far?
No, I know.
Exactly, I know what you're saying.
Like, we're really taking for granted they're going to win these next 2 games. They're going to beat Fresno State at home, and they're going to go to
give them problems.
As they did up there.
That.
Yeah.
Just with the length.
Yes. Yeah, Andre's big. Yeah. And then you got to go up, and it's going to be senior night in Fort Fun. And you got one of the best players in the league in Stevens. I mean, I am talking this whole conversation. Well, but I mean, if they better take care of business, man. They better turn things around. Look like they did when they went to San Jose 2 Fridays ago, as opposed to, well, every other game that they played this month. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. That is how to get to us here on the Sports Animal if you want to still get in. We can talk some NFL when we come back. Bears are leaning towards trading the first pick, according to someone who usually tends to know what that stuff is all about. So we got a little NFL stuff to talk about there. The Combine is going this week. Yeah, they still do the Combine. The Underwear Olympics. You like that? We'll talk about the buzz coming out of the NFL Combine as well. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Science with CBS.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting the ball.
The dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hostile gives it up. Shot is up. Oh! Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish. Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong fit.
She's going to got numbers. Going to
1
make it.
second. She slips it in. Just a. Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya. The screen, ball fake, but rejected. Oh, rejects it. Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a 3-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
E-Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
What happened to the boys? And I was like, I guess they knew about it.
One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do.
Ready to watch the Combine? You love all things NFL. Combine this week. What is a Combine? That's when those guys get out in their shorts, their T-shirts, and throw around. Everybody stands around with clipboards and stopwatches. So who's going to throw, who's going to play, who's going to run in the Combine? It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, and A-Marie. Quarterbacks C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson will all throw at the NFL Scouting Combine next Saturday. However, the guy who's probably the number one overall, Bryce Young, will not. He will wait for Alabama's Pro Day and have everybody come to him on March 23rd. That's according to ESPN's Jordan Reed. So he won't throw, but he will go through the medical examinations, the measurements, and all that other stuff. He'll go through the testing and the whatever. Richardson will go through testing and measurements and participation drills, but it's unclear whether or not Stroud and Levis will do so. I don't know what the advantages are, the disadvantages. I mean, look, you hear me say this all the time. I think it's fair if you want to get a true measurement on a guy. If he's listed at 6'3" and he's really 6 feet, I want to know that. We're going to hear about somebody's damn hand size this year, right? Kenny Pickett's hands were too small last year, but yet he was a first-round pick and played pretty well as a rookie for the Steelers as a quarterback. I will put way more credence into what I see on the football field than I will in the underwear Olympics, but I guess there is some value to this.
There's diminishing value to it. Less and less coaching staff showing up. It's just the one-on-one availability. You get, of course, the medical records, which now a lot of people are questioning, should it be as open medically at the Combine for the players and just their records as opposed to just being able to meet teams, separately and make that decision. So the Scouting Combine is taking a hit right now from coaching staffs that are not showing up because you let the film tell you what kind of football player they are, not what they do in shorts.
I've been saying that for years.
So
Yeah.
I like watching it because I like to learn about the prospects. I don't watch because, oh man, I just saw that guy make a throw with no pressure. That looks fantastic. And I think the NFL is kind of realizing that. The coaching staffs are realizing that. And so many of the top players train by themselves. Like you've already seen, if you look at the Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine Game, things like that, some of these guys in other football environments where you can put them through one-on-one drills in pads, that you can gain a little bit more from that stuff as opposed to the Scouting Combine at this point in time.
To me, it's like a guy hitting a ball on a range, right? He's really good on the range, but what about when there's some pressure and there's a couple bucks on the line? When he's in the middle of a tournament, then what happens? And I agree with that. But they'll do it, and people will watch it, and okay.
It's great to learn about the prospects. Like if you're someone that goes, I don't really know who's good coming in, what I need to know. You turn on the Scouting Combine, you'll learn about these prospects. So it's a lot of fun if you're interested in that.
All right. One of the teams that's not mentioned a lot in regards to getting one of these quarterbacks, and there's so many quarterbacks in the market. You figure there's 4 in the draft, and then whoever might be moving around, whether it's Lamar, whether it's Rodgers, Carr, whomever. One of the teams that's not really mentioned a lot is New England. Do you feel New England is set at quarterback with Mac Jones? Do you get either one of you feel that way? Because I don't.
I don't see them going out of their way to do something with the quarterback position.
Should they?
No, because I don't think that they're a team that has a higher ceiling with Jimmy Garoppolo or Derek Carr right now.
It's interesting.
Suppose what you could potentially make Mac Jones into.
I'd kind of be in the Derek Carr market. I would be in the Derek Carr market if I was them. Now, I don't know what their relationship with Jim Garoppolo is. That's where he started. It always was said to me, I always heard that Bill Belichick always liked Garoppolo. Remember there was a whole thing that he wanted Garoppolo instead of Brady for a while? So again, that feels like a place. Devin McCourty's the captain of the New England Patriots, and he's been out defending Mac Jones, the quarterback of the future. He said that the team leaders like him are encouraged to speak up, and he said, quote, what I love about Mac is Mac came into a leadership role as quarterback, and he speaks to what he thinks. I think what people don't always understand in our locker room, Bill pushes that we're the captains in meetings every week. And he'll say, if you don't like something, tell us and we'll throw it out. Because that's what he says, what's the point of players going out there and saying, as soon as it all comes in, I know we hate this call, but nobody wants that out there, end quote. So basically what he's saying is, we're leaders, we're behind our coach, and we like this quarterback. I got to believe that that's a little something in regards to this quarterback's confidence going into the spring camp, knowing that at least verbally the team leaders are behind him. Because I think that's a super tenuous situation up there.
It's with any of these quarterback situations, there's like 3 or 4 guys you're saying, yeah, we're not moving on. You always have to be open. That's why even when I say no to the Justin Fields conversation, you have that conversation about number one, and is one of these guys better? That's why even if you think you have a young quarterback like Mac Jones and New England Patriots, you go, we'd be better off with a Derek Carr. Right now, you always have those conversations. It's the right way to run an organization. I think when you get to that end of the conversation, if I'm New England, I say, all right, Mac Jones, we brought in a real offensive coordinator.
That's where I was going next.
We saw that you had good success when Josh McDaniels was there at the helm instead of this Joe Judge, Patricia weirdness that was going on. Let's see if this gets you back on track.
So Bill O'Brien's the new offensive coordinator there. Do you buy into this? I mean, do you feel that, okay, that was the issue, that there was such uncertainty there?
Just the development of the quarterback, and all those guys know football. But there's a difference when you have a true offensive coordinator as opposed to just football guys doing that side of the football.
Okay. I see. If I'm them, I'm looking. All right. Text line. Mud says no one's talking about Oral Roberts going undefeated in their conference. Lobos are in. Okay. Oral Roberts did go undefeated in their conference. Their only loss in their last 18 games is to New Mexico. If you think the Oral Roberts game is getting you into the tournament, okay. I hope you're right. This one says it's harder than you think to get into the NIT. #CBA. Yeah, it's not easy to get into that field. It's only field of 32, right? The NIT? Pretty sure it is. It's not easy. But I do believe at this point, but again, this is assuming they win these next two. Let me just tell you something. If they lose one or both of the next two, do you think they're a guaranteed NIT team? Because I'm not sure I do at that point.
No. Guaranteed?
They're an NIT team right now, right? Now, a lot of these NIT bids, and this is where you've got to understand what happens when the NIT, we're talking college basketball now, is their guaranteed bids go to teams who will win a conference regular season but do not get the automatic berth because they lose in the conference tournament. So, for instance, if Eastern Washington does not win the Big Sky Conference, they get an automatic bid into the NIT because they're 16-1, they won the regular season. If UNC Asheville, who, Jeff, does not win the Big South, they will get an automatic bid. So that all of a sudden you start eating away at bids. You see what I'm saying? If for some reason UC Irvine, well, gosh, there's a three-way tie there. UC Irvine, UC Riverside, and UC Santa Barbara. So one of those teams is going to get in. Conference USA, FAU. If they don't win the conference tournament, they're getting, you understand what I'm saying? Youngstown State in the Horizon League. Okay? So there's going to be a finite number of bids. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. We'll get around to that. And do I think it's a done deal? No, I don't think anything is a done deal at this point. I don't think anything's a done deal. All right, so what do I got tonight? JJ and Fresno. So what time? Day game tomorrow or night game? Night game, right? All right. So you'll be up in Fresno tomorrow.
7 p.m. Mountain Time tip-off. So as you're making your way to the pit, you can enjoy some women's basketball on your radio dial before you watch the men, because it's 8:30 tip for the men tomorrow night.
So Fresno State's not, the record's not good, but they tend to usually have athletes, don't they? You've seen them already, haven't you?
No.
Oh, this is the only time? Okay, there is one Mountain West game tonight. Men. Nevada on the road in Laramie. Senior night in Laradice for Hunter and Hunter. The odds, two dudes named Hunter, seniors on the same team in Wyoming. Hunter Maldonado, Hunter, what's my other Hunter?
Thompson.
That's right. Not Hunter S. Thompson. Just
Hunter
Hunter.
Green.
Nevada will be there. Spread on that. What do you think? Ballpark me.
Nevada at Wyoming.
Yeah.
Nevada 5.5.
Dang, right on the number. Right on the number. I like Nevada in 5. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give Wyoming play them tight. Would you take the Wyoming and the points on this one? Senior night up there? No. Think Nevada blues them out?
I think Nevada wins by 5.
Okay. Tomorrow night's the big night in the Mountain West. San Diego State's at Boise State. That's your big one tomorrow night. 7 o'clock in Boise. If the Aztecs win one of their next two, they win outright the league championship. They'll go home and play Wyoming to close things out. Fresno State is here in the pit. I don't have a spread on it yet. And then 9 o'clock game, Colorado State will be at San Jose State tomorrow night. Coach of the year. There's 1 week left. Who's your coach of the year in this league? San Diego State's and Boise State are at the top. Is Tim Miles coach of the year? Can you finish 5th in the league and be coach of the year?
When you're coaching San Jose State, yes.
I mean, and look, I was critical when I remember it, and I know I took heat for it. When Tim Miles was a finalist for the job here, and I think the Lobos and Eddie Nunes made the right decision going with Richard Pitino. I firmly believe that. I was critical. What had Tim Miles done? I thought he was, a lot of hot air. I thought he was a personality. He had a couple nice years at Colorado State, and then what did he do at Nebraska? I wasn't high on Tim Miles getting this job. But he's done a hell of a job there, hasn't he? He's going to be up for the Cal job, isn't he? Sounds like Mark Fox is going to get fired at Cal, and it sounds like he's going to be up for that Cal job. You know what else is really weird? And I kind of hit me the other day. It is really weird to be sitting here in the last week of February and talking about conference tournaments and New Mexico State's not playing basketball.
Yep.
Because we do have a lot of New Mexico State conversation about now. And it's just weird. Aggies are coming to town. They're doing a little caravan, a bowl celebration in town. If you want to go, Aggie Fan Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30 at Nativo Lodge. The Nativo Lodge right there at San Mateo on the freeway. What's this week? Thanks to Robin Cole. He was with us, the former Lobo great and Pittsburgh Steeler great. If you want to hear that, it's wherever you get your podcast. Go to sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. And it was a really fun conversation. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4 o'clock, and we're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning. Beginning at 7 a.m. A-Marie, great work.
Thank you.
Adrian, thank you. Looks great over on ProView Networks. Safe travels to you.
Thank you, sir.
See you from Fresno tomorrow?
See you from Fresno.
All right, we're back in the morning. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. See you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.